Welcome to In It to Win It. This is Steve Barton, and thank you for tuning in. We are here for Monday Market Moves, what happened last week in the markets, and what we expect for next week. And thank you for allowing us to do work that we find meaningful. Thank you for giving us the most valuable commodity you have, your attention. We promise to do our very best to give you a return on it. All right, let's go to the charts. Starting out as always with the S&P 500. We have made a brand new all-time nominal high. Remember, as the dollar gets weaker, it takes more of those to buy the same thing, whether that's a share of the S&P 500 or a barrel of oil. All right, is actually looking like we might start to roll over a little bit. I mean, we've been way up here. Look at the RSI in the clouds, stochastic, MACD, all in the clouds, but some heavy buying volume. So who knows, but is looking like it's probably going to start rolling over a little bit. I mean, it is way overbought, but who knows how much longer we can go in clown world. As far as the dollar, this one's kind of tricky. It looks like the dollar is going to move up. Technicals are pretty stretched here, but this purple line may be hard to see right here with this red dashed line, which is the closing price for the dollar. Closed at 103.5. But we got a reversal bar to the upside. It looks like the 10 has crossed above the 20, then it's crossed above the 50. Now the 21 looks like it's going to cross above the 50, which is bullish. Kind of looking like the dollar's going to go higher. Next level of resistance going to be around 104, and then after that around 105, this 400 moving average. So we see the dollar going up, probably going to put some downside pressure on the commodities. Gold has, let's see, down 0.5% for the week. The real support we have right here is at 2,000. Just kind of a nice round number that I think everyone can easily remember. And then right down here at the 200 moving average, which is probably going to be 1780 by the time it hits it. We do think it's going to come back down here and at least touch the 200 moving average. Here's another way of looking at it, the S&P 500 versus gold. So 2.42 ounces of gold for one share of the S&P 500. We think when the gold bull run really goes, we're going to be able to trade 1 ounce of gold for one share of the S&P 500. So whether the S&P 500 goes flat and gold continues to go up, whatever has got to balance that equation, we fully expect it to get back to their 1-to-1 ratio. And then I don't think we'll be trading like our actual bars of gold for shares of the S&P 500, but we could certainly trade GDX or GDXJ, the miners, for the S&P 500. But we think right now is the time to be in commodities, and who knows when will be the time to be back into the general market. GDX, we had an order that hit, I believe this hit last week. Yeah, Friday of last week. So you guys saw this one last week. Nice little dip buying. Same with GDXJ. There could be some more downside if gold is going to go down to 2000 or to 1980, then these should get drug along with it. We have a limit order in here for GDXJ at $31, which isn't super scientific. It just lines up with some back support right there. Franco-Nevada still a deal. Closed the week at 108. Remember, we believe fair value is around 125, 130. So the market still hasn't realized this deal, which is really surprising to me. Usually deals like this get snagged up. This one hasn't. So if you don't have any Franco-Nevada, this is great beta play for gold. Barrick Gold, you guys saw the purchases we made back here. Still a decent buy. I think a limit order around like 1530, 1525 would be kind of nice. Closed the week at 1553. Newmont, we're probably going to make another purchase into this one. So we bought this one last week or week before last, and it's coming into a little double bottom here. So technicals are getting really stretched. Look at the RSI down here. Look at the MACD, man. And then look at the stochastic way down here. Looking fantastic. I think this is going to be an excellent entry point, and we might even be able to get a little bit cheaper than last time. We got it for $34.50. It's slightly cheaper than that now, maybe a limit order around like 34, something like that. I don't know. Looks like it's going to go down a little bit. Hopefully gold will get drugged down and then we can snag this one again. But yeah, like Newmont a lot. Great dividends. Agnico Eagle, we bought one into that. It didn't quite have the correction that Newmont did, but yeah, still a great buy point for Agnico Eagle. Would like to see this come back down. Maybe we'll put some limit orders in here for like 47 and then maybe a stink bid down here for like 44. Gold Royalty Corporation. Love this one. This is our favorite royalty play other than the big ones. But as far as some alpha in the gold royalty sector, I think this is about as good as it's going to get. Maybe other than Origin. Close the week at 135. I think anywhere along here is a great purchase. We got a stink bid in still for 120. Probably isn't going to hit. Origin Royalties, got this one from the Rick Rule Royalty and Streaming Bootcamp. You know, we have a stink bid in here for 45 cents. We hope it hits. If it doesn't, we're fine with our position. This is just a little last add me on. Silver. All right, silver for the week has been interesting. Okay, so we started out here on Friday. It's basically flat for the week. Shot down through the 400, then shot back up through it, just kind of bouncing right here. The real numbers we want to memorize are $22 is support, 26 is the real resistance, and kind of anywhere in between there, we don't really care unless we're doing like swing trades. But basically look at it like when it gets down here around 22, I really think it's going to get down to 21. I'm hoping gold gets smacked down to the 200 moving average, which should bring silver down to like 21. That might be one of our last like real good entry points. I'm hoping that happens, but we'll see. But anyways, as we're down here towards this white line, this is generally speaking like a buy zone, and that right up there is a big resistance zone that we got to bust through. SILJ, there was a tick if you could catch it on Monday. We didn't. We're really waiting for this one to get back down to like $8. I hope it does. If gold gets dragged down and then silver goes down to 21, I think we're going to get SILJ pretty close to $8, which I think would be a smoking deal. But technicals are pretty stretched here. It does look like it might be bouncing on the way up, but if silver goes down, this one will as well. Now, copper had a heck of a day on Wednesday. I mean, it just had, I think it was like a 6% move or something. What was that? Oh, no, it wasn't that high. But shot up. If anyone knows what happened on Wednesday to copper, put it down in the comments below. I'm curious. I couldn't find anything. But anyways, copper did pretty well. Closed the week at 385, just knocking on the door of $4. I think once we start clearing $4, we should have a lot less resistance to the upside. But liking copper a lot. We placed one copper bet on Friday of last week, and then it shot up. So this is where the COPX is kind of a nice leverage bet to copper itself, and yeah, like went up about twice as much as the metal itself. So like COPX for a beta play in copper. Just accumulate on weakness. When the technicals look way down here and stretched like they did right here, add a little bit to your position. We're going to just want to add to this over the next, I think, year or two, and then we'll reap the benefits 5 years from now. Another leverage way to play this is COPJ, just buying back on weakness, just establishing our bets. We didn't place one right here. The RSI was still a little bit high for us. It looked better in COPX, but the technicals were pretty stretched. I certainly wouldn't discount a trade there or an entry point. I mean, it would have hit right in the Fibonacci. Maybe we should have taken one. Arizona Metals closed the week at 150. Still like this company. Great buy point right around here. It got down to like in the high 140s if you wanted to place another bet. I think we might place one last bet on this one. We're pretty happy with our position here. It's I think 1.5% of the portfolio, so not a huge position, but enough where if this does a quadruple or something, that'd be quite nice. All right, uranium. What the heck happened to uranium? It rolled over. We closed the week. This is saying 99.75. John Quake says 99.50. Kind of depends. You got to be, depending on which numbers you're looking at. But it obviously went down from 106. Now, where do we stand with uranium? I think most likely what's going to happen, so if we take the top at 106 here, I'm not really sure about the commodity itself, because some of this I think is some buyers who bought last month at $90 have been selling at 106 and taking a little arbitrage, right? You know, they're business people just like we are. They want to make a buck. So buyers are adjusting their prices down to see if they can get some cheap pounds before Kazatomprom comes out with their news on February 1st that they're not going to make their, they're not going to make their numbers. So that's interesting. Or the Russian uranium ban could happen pretty soon, and maybe that creates a little spike if Russia actually does say, you know what, we're just going to ban you anyways, and you can't have anything as far as these contracts going out. That would probably jump the price to $150 overnight. So any of these could happen, but I do see a pullback coming here in uranium, at least for the short term. You know, we could get back. Here's the SRUUF, the Sprott Physical Uranium Trust. Pretty cool. Remember, this number was a 2, so we've added 300,000 pounds to the Sprott Physical Uranium Trust, trading at a nice juicy discount of 10.62. So if you don't have any uranium and you want to play this game and you've been waiting, this is what we call your opportunity. Okay, generally speaking, if you were to buy this when it is at an 11% or more discount to NAV, up to as high as it would go, the best I ever got it out was 18. If you were to buy it there and then sell it when it's at either a premium or pretty darn close to net asset value, you could trade this and make out very well. All right, just saying. Okay, all right, let's go back here. So as far as the uranium equities, we see some pullbacks coming, probably 20 to 30%. I think that's going to be one of the more likely scenarios, is that we have a natural, look at some of the technicals here. So when all these were flying high, look at what Kazatomprom was in the clouds, in the clouds, in the clouds, right? So if we get a 20 or 30% pullback, we've already had, a 15% pullback. 20% pullback would take us, to $36. 30% pullback would take us around the 200 moving average. That would be nice if we could get back down to here. That might create another entry. Same with URA. I see this coming down probably 20 to 30%. It may not. We may have we're already down, 7%? 20% would be down around $25. 30% would be down around, 22. Man, if we got this back down to 22, I think that would create some amazing entry points. But what I'd really like to see, I'd like to see this cup and handle pattern iron out. See, if we get this handle to come down like that and naturally go like down in this range, back down maybe 20% or so, that would be ideal. And that would form a super bullish cup and handle pattern that is ready to take off. Same thing with URNM. If we were to get maybe a 20% pullback that would follow something, ideally you want these cup and handle patterns to kind of look like that. Like they start going down maybe at not quite a 45-degree angle, but you don't really want them to go sideways as much. It's much more powerful if they come down like that. So hopefully that happens with URNM. URNJ, same kind of thing. That cup and handle pattern has already sailed. It's gone up there, but would love to see a little bit of pullback. I think the only ones I'm going to scale back in, if I do at all at this point, is going to be URNJ and possibly UROY here. But they're going to have to pull back quite a bit for me to want to get any more. We already got a really big position in both of these. UEC still climbing in the clouds. We're at the point of no concern on this one. Would like to see a pullback. Maybe if it really pulled back, we could make another entry. Boss Energy. We should probably get to the point of no concern on this one. We are, what percentage is that? That's over 100%. We really should do that. Okay, I think next week you'll see a little down arrow right here, which means that we're in it for free. All right, moving on to oil. Oil had an awesome week. Pretty cool, up 6.5% for the week. I think that's really where, if you look at some of these bets that we got here for XLE, our favorite oil ETF, when it's getting crushed like that, just start kind of placing them along technical support, and the cheaper it gets, the more you want. If you believe in the oil narrative, This one's going to do very well. I mean, they got Exxon and Chevron are their top two holdings, and that makes up almost half of this ETF. And we look here in Exxon as well. You know, when it gets cheaper, buy more. Our last entry there was $96.38 up to 103. Hopefully that was peak cheap oil. I don't know. We need to have Doomberg back on the show. He's got me a little concerned about this bet, but until we can be convinced otherwise, we think that oil is going to do very well. Blackstone Minerals, same thing. Porpentosa also said in the notes, if you're not in the comments, this is where I love the comments. You guys we can feed on each other and learn so much. If you're not an American, this one is not for you. You're going to get killed in taxes. Okay, so it's a limited partnership. So just know that if you're not an American, pretty much ignore this one. Okay, moving on to natural gas. Natural gas is up for the week. Technicals, everything's kind of middle of the road. Looking like it's probably going to go higher. It shoved through the 200 moving average with a reversal bar to the upside. Looks like natural gas is going to go up, which means that Devon and Equitable will probably also go up. I don't see any more entry points into Devon here. Our moment was a week before last when the technicals were really down, but it looks like they're going to be moving up. Same with Equitable. Would love to see Equitable come down for maybe a double bottom or even get like maybe a stink bid in down here around $30. I don't know if that's going to happen or not, but it does look like it's kind of coming down. So maybe we'll get lucky. Coal. All right, we said our idiot-proof way of when we're going to have Matt Warder back on the show and you know, talk to someone who knows what they're talking about when it comes to coal, was when thermal coal gets to 120 or met coal gets to 250. That hasn't happened. Or 3 months have gone by. Well, thermal coal has gotten to 120. So we got a hold of Matt. We're going to have him on the show in a couple of weeks, and we'll pick his brain on that. As far as Glencore, we have been super excited about this one. So we got our two starter positions up here, doubled down here at 1050, and then had a limit order in for $10, and it got down to a 1006. Didn't hit. So shot back up, closed the week at $10.73. Would love to see this come back and correct back down, but I think pretty much anywhere around the 1050 line is pretty good. And then a stink bid in for $10 or maybe a little bit below would be nice. But technicals are looking pretty good right here. See, everything got pretty stretched to the downside. Now it's moving up, looking like Glencore is on the way up. Bitcoin closed the week at 42,000. Well, I guess it's kind of always trading, so it didn't really close. Yeah, don't see any entry points in this. If you would like to trade, what would that be, 21 gold coins for one of these Bitcoin, you can do so today. Platinum is came up on a nice double bottom, right? Technicals got pretty stretched. Same with Palladium. Take a look at this, kind of a double bottom right there. The way we played this one was the SPPP. So the Sprott, Physical, Platinum, and Palladium Trust. We've just been slowly scaling into this as it's gotten cheaper. And remember, this is speculation at its finest, okay? So if we get a recession or a depression, especially worldwide, these are very likely not going to do well at all because people are going to be buying less cars, you know, and have less of a need for catalytic converters. But if we get a hiccup in South Africa, Zimbabwe, or Russia, hold on to your shorts. This is going to be a lot of fun. We're basically holding on to this, hoping that platinum, you know, gets back to, I don't know, 2 to 1 in relation to gold. But right now it's just half to 1. So we'll see. Okay, BHP made a little purchase on Monday. I think we did talk about this one last week. We showed the Fibonacci. We showed the 200 moving average. I mean, this was just a screaming buy all day long. Yeah, we snagged it, and hopefully it gets washed out and goes back down. But yeah, this was a buy point. I mean, we really could have done an option on this one and made out like a bandit. But I've got family in town, so I don't have time to trade. But yeah, I mean, you want textbook buy? This is it. Okay, so you just go here. Fibonacci, 200 moving average, all day long, print money. All right, BHP. Rio Tinto, same kind of thing. This one, we drew the Fibonacci in here. It hit in the Fibonacci, and it went up as well, but not on the 200 moving average. See how much cleaner this one looks right here? It's right on the 200 moving average. I mean, this just looks, now copper spiking up, of course, helped this, but yeah, just not quite as clean. You could say that you had some back support back here, but no, the BHP one was a no-brainer. This one, I think you kind of want to wait just to be a little more certain. TLT, basically flat for the week. I drew in this retracement here just to kind of give you an idea where there may be some support, but you know, we'll see what our big thinkers have for us at the next Fed meeting, and we'll see what they do, and that should dictate a little bit of what TLT does. Okay, and moving on to listener questions. Andy wants to know about Metallo royalty. All right, I've been absolutely spanked by this one. What I should have done, Andy, was I should have sold here for a nice 30% profit, and then done the same here for a nice like 25% profit. Didn't do it. And we've just been in this waiting for the gold bull market to go. I have another one that is down like this. I think it's, it's First Majestic. Oh man, what a mistake that was. And you know, I just ignored my own rule of like a 20% stop loss and just rode this thing out. And I don't know. I need to ask Rick about this one. We're having him on the show here soon and pick his brain on this one because okay, moving on. Let's see. Where is an entry point right now? Maybe a limit order around like 275. I mean, man, it really looks like we're carving out a bottom right here. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think we're darn near there. I mean, there's a lot of back support going back to when this company was formed in 2018. And a lot of technical support right around there. I would say an entry kind of right around where we are now, maybe a little bit cheaper, around like 275 might be a good one. You know, they absorbed Nova. I think we asked Rick about this one a couple months ago when it was around here, and he thought it was fairly valued. We'll get his opinion on it coming up and see what he says. Okay, and Carla wants to know about materials, MP materials. I mean, I think they're one of the few rare earth metals miners in the West, which is kind of cool. So if there's a hiccup somewhere else, these guys are probably going to be worth more. Technicals are pretty stretched here, Carla. Low stochastic, low MACD, lowish RSI, coming up on a double bottom. If you like this company, I don't think they offer any dividends. Nope, no dividends. But yeah, if you like this company, you know something about it, it looks like a pretty decent entry point. Yeah, I like it. Okay, and Kat wants to know about Warrior Met Coal. We can ask Matt Warder about this one. If you guys haven't seen the interview with Matt Warder, I'll put a little link up here. And that has just been one of our most successful episodes. It's just like every day it just gets 50 downloads. It's consistent, impressive. I think it's kind of a timeless episode as far as investing in coal and which companies do what. And we go over Warrior Met Coal in there as well. As far as an entry here, RSI is kind of high. MACD is really high. Stochastic, middle of the road. I mean, this could be another AMR, but I don't see any technical entry into here at all, Kat. I'm trying to justify something here with maybe like no, that doesn't even work. Yeah, sorry, don't see it. I really want to see this retrace back down. I want to see, I mean, I got to say, this is a really bullish looking chart. We have the 400 moving average, the 200 moving average, 50, 21, 10, all in sequential order. And this thing is just ripping higher and has been for like, you know, almost a year. Okay, but I want to see a double bottom. I want to, you know, I like buying on this end of the graph and selling on this end of the graph, not the other way around. I just really don't see any kind of entry. Okay. Well, I love you guys. Thanks for always being here. I hope you guys got something out of that. If you want to support the show, there is a link down in the description below. If you want to try out TradingView free for 30 days, there's a link in the pinned comment. I want to grow my finances just like you. And if you use that link, the show gets a little kickback at absolutely no extra cost to you. And you support your favorite podcast in the process. Thank you for tuning in. Hit the like and subscribe. And share this with anyone that you think needs to hear it. It's probably your buddy that can't stop talking about tech stocks. You have yourself a great rest of the day, and we will talk to you next time.